One last thing is if you guys are ahead bottom, don't even bother roaming too much. Just help that 80, get to his 3 items so he can kill everybody. Because your 80 is the source of your power, pretty much. And yep. So otherwise, I think you played a pretty good game, not too bad. If you have any question, let's hop into Discord real quick. So that will conclude that segment of the VOD review. Okay, so just hop into one of the lower Discord channels and we can chat about your Nami gameplay. You did pretty well, I'd say. I don't really know what elo you're in, but you landed a lot of really good bubbles, which is really nice. Nice to see. So you had... Oh, okay, he's restarting his computer. Guess we'll chill out for a bit. I'm not sure. He's restarting his computer. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, a lot of problems that supports have typically are the same. Setting up creeps, warding too far without the help of your teammates. Kinda, if you're the winning lane, leaving your AD behind and trying to help the other lanes, but those guys are sinking ships, so there's not really much you can do about that. And if you can't get deep vision, just get shallow vision, entrances on your jungle just to see if enemy junglers are rotating and stuff like that. Pretty important to do. But yeah, that was not too bad of a game, honestly. Gotta work on your dodging a little bit too, my man. Either hide behind creeps, or when you're going for poke, you just run sideways. Because you can cast W without having to stop, which is pretty nice.
Because we are your friends, you'll never be alone again. Well, come on, well, come on.
Thanks for the host, my dude. Don't you think tank supports are way easier to play at low elo? Debatable. Depends. If you're playing like Leona, Alistar combo can be hard for newer players and stuff like that, or mechanically inexperienced players, just because the combo, they made it more consistent that you can actually queue up your Q as you're Wing. But there's some things about the champ that is unfamiliar to a lot of players. That's like, you know, pressing your E first before you combo, or flash Q, setting off your E and then Wing them towards your opponent. I would have to say that if you're gonna play any tank support in lower elos, probably be Leona would be the easiest, and then Alistar, and then Blitzcrank. Even Braum is not too bad, but Braum kind of requires a team, so I would say he's not that great with solo queue. It's actually day 25 now, so there's 5 days left. Take a break from computer and then do another challenge. But this time, once you're off break, then once you're on break, I'll probably be doing like 2-3 hour days on those days. Just viewer games and stuff. Well, I will be for Christmas. How's it going, Non, Xcano, Kays, Razor Legend, Tim, Ashley? Hey, Iconic, collecting your games? Thanks, man, you too. Hey, Kacha. Hey, Coach 50. Okay, go play Lux. Back in the potato farm. Okie dokie. Let's finish off this review real quick. Hello?
Hey,
Hey man, what's up?
not in. I have a few questions. I guess my first question would be when we were when you mentioned earlier in bot lane after we got both summoners, that we could dive. I guess I'm not really sure what the criteria that like I should be looking for in order to call for a dive.
Okay, so I guess what the criteria here would be in this particular situation. Let me just pinpoint it on the stream again. So you guys just took like a really good trade for you guys before that, and Katarina right now has pressure in his mid lane. Let's just fast forward this real quick before first buy. Okay, so you guys took a nice trade where you got 3 summoners for pretty much nothing. And right now, Katarina's currently getting some pressure mid. So even though you guys are kind of if you guys push in this next wave, they're pretty unhealthy. So you can just call them to come over. I guess she died, which makes it kind of hard. But when you're looking in future games for dives and stuff, whenever you make these good trades and you get like advantages bottom where you have a wave piling up, is usually the best time to call your jungle over for dives and stuff like that when they're chunked.
So should we be like looking to slow push the wave at that point so you have a bigger wave, or can you call for like a dive with a fast push wave?
It's better to slow push the wave and see if they're kind of bait them to like keep staying, and then you kind of set yourself up where you're in front of your creeps, your creep wave. So since you do have summoners on them, if Nautilus were to hook you, you guys straight up win the 2v2.
Right.
So you just gotta ping your jungler to come straight down. This is kind of how you snowball the game in your favor. Yep.
Right. Okay. Next question. When should I be looking to use safe wards versus like getting deep vision in their jungle?
So what you gotta be looking for in that situation is, are your lanes pushing? Specifically mid. Is your mid lane pushing? Because if your mid is pushing, then it's a lot safer for you to get deeper vision because you know where their mid is. They can't rotate on you. The only thing that you really need to worry about is their support and their jungle being with you. So the higher elo that you go, you'll notice that a lot of jungles and supports start roaming together for vision, but when you're in lower elos, like when you're in elos that's not in masters and stuff like that, it's fairly safe to get deeper vision as long as your mid is pushed.
Okay.
Because a lot of enemy supports in lower elos never really ward for their mid laners like at all, and I feel like that's a huge mistake. Even if your mid is hard inting, if you are able to ward around mid, then you can see the enemy mid roaming to bottom lane,
Right.
for example. So that's super helpful information for you guys to know when to play safe.
So is like warding for mid, is that like vision that's like in between like the two neutral objectives?
Yeah,
And,
so
like,
the,
close-
the, the
yeah.
pixel brush, the small little island bush.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So that's the perfect place. If you know that there's a pink in there and it's a contested area with pinks all the time, the bush above it, closer to them, heading into their jungle, is actually a
Right.
great place to put a green ward because that usually doesn't get swept.
Right. Okay. My next question. So I play my champion pool is Rakan, Janna, and Nami. So like there's two enchanter supports in there. So is like the criteria well, first of all, what is the criteria for roaming that I should be looking for if I want to roam mid or roam top?
That all depends on the champions that you have. And
Yeah.
if you have priority bottom, okay, so there's different ways. This basically is like learning how to manage your wave bottom even through support. So if you want to become a really good support, it's good to learn other lanes because when you start learning how to CS, this is how you start learning wave management. If your lane
Yeah.
is hard shoving to them and you can't really get poke onto them, you know, it's not worth it to get in those extra like autos on turrets or those extra abilities on your enemy because the enemy jungle could be there. This is the best time to look for maybe a roam to mid for either vision.
When you fast push?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Or if the wave is slow pushing to you where you have a chance, like you can't walk up for that wave. It's still like in the middle of the lane and it's hella risky. Just tell your AD to play a turret, especially after like first base or even before first base. You can look for some pretty free roams depending on when their lane is
Right.
mid.
Okay. So is there like any real reason to be roaming on enchanters since you have like really little to no pick potential?
It's more so just providing the pressure that you
Right.
are roaming because in lower elos, enemy mid laners get really tilted really easy. So if you make
Yeah.
multiple trips, just like throwing an ability at them every time you go to ward or something, or if you notice that they're overextending and you can find a gank on them with your jungle, like if you call your jungle at the exact same time that you're going, it
Right.
actually works out pretty well since you're almost always gonna have people advantage.
Right. So what about for like roaming to like top lane or just running around with my jungle? Like I know like this game Katarina kind of fed hardcore, so is it even like worth me going to mid or should I try and
I
top.
wouldn't say that it would be worth ganking mid unless Kha'Zix is with you. Because
Right.
between the two of you, you guys would probably not get Lux and then both end up dying to Nocturne or something.
Yeah. So should I be looking to help top if like mid and my AD carrier behind? Is it worth me running up top to help?
That in that particular situation, it's hard to say because if your top is hard winning, just let them take the aggro of getting the jungle, enemy jungle up there,
Right.
and just trying to survive as best you can bottom and helping your AD survive. If your AD is like a pile of dog shit and your solo laners are doing well, then just make sure you help him like CS the best you can, ward for him if you can.